Hi and welcome, Linnéa. We are so happy to have you here with IMN TV, and we're looking forward so much to have you coming and visit IMN Copenhagen on the 1st of February.
Thank you so much. I look forward to coming to you guys.
It's so exciting, and I mean, I'm so curious to hear about your journey, because I mean, you have been so very successful, and it's been speed record time, really, everything that you've accomplished. And I would like to hear in your own words, if you could tell us a little bit about how it all started and how come this has happened so incredibly fast for you.
You know what? I started my entrepreneurial journey. I actually have a date. It's in October it's 2013. So I'm in my fourth year now, or in the fifth year. Very exciting, actually, because I set a goal that I'm gonna give myself 5 years to accomplish some things, and it's looking really well, and hopefully I can accomplish them all. But I started out actually in network marketing. That's where my real journey started out, and I left them after 2 years, and I started my own business. I was a consultant and did different things, everything from sales, marketing. I did a lot of economy as well for some businesses, and team leading work. And then I decided to really step in there and be a serial entrepreneur and start finding partners. I started to work a lot international and globally, which has been a major thing for me, a success, that I actually started outside of Sweden, and then I could come back and actually have done something so that my record here could grow much faster. So, you know, it started 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been in a very high speed internationally, with the speaking and with getting partners outside and just growing our investment company the last 1.5 years.
Yes.
Which has a lot to do with JT Fox as well, who brought me on one of his stages. Yeah. And then it's just exploded and I couldn't barely handle everything. But it's been a journey, an interesting journey, and I'm still on the journey. But yeah, it's a fast journey, and I'm so thankful for everything that's happened.
It's been very inspiring for me. I mean, I've seen you live a few times, and it's been very interesting to follow you and see how you connect with your audience. And yeah, I would like to ask you if you could think of a couple of things about yourself as an entrepreneur and a leader that defines you. What would those 1 or 2 things be that you especially think defines you?
That defines me. It's very hard. I don't try to look at it that way, because I believe that we can all grow all the time. I can always be better. So if I define myself as something, it might be that I put a limit, and I don't want to put a limit on myself. Yes. But what I see is my strengths is that I build relationships. I build global relationship with big investors. People have deals, big businesses. I get access to a lot of things just because I understand how to sell myself and how to sell the business and the product that I have. Yes. And that is kind of my thing. I have something that, you know, people are curious about it. I'm still very young, and I'm a woman in this industry. So that's also something that a lot of people are curious, and I put that as my advantage, and I use that, like being young, being a woman, instead of having that as something that could be holding me back. I use that to just grow everything I have, and I take a position, which is something I will share with all of your audience as well, how important it is to take your position as an entrepreneur and business owner in the industry that you are and the expertise that you have. Yes. So that's what I've done as well. I went out there and just said, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I do, and that confident, you know, which is what that takes you far.
Fantastic. I'm curious to hear, I mean, you're from Sweden, I'm from Sweden too. I just would like to ask, do you think your Swedish upbringing or the Swedish culture, has that at all impacted you as who you are as an entrepreneur, or not at all?
It definitely has. I believe that the surrounding, everything that you have, it's so you now, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's how you grow up. Is you usually say that you become the average person of the 5 people that you have closest around you. So of course, I mean, I've been impacted by the society here, the people here, the mentality. We have this thing that you know of, maybe they have it in Denmark as well, with the jantelagen, which means that if you stand out, if you do something that is not like in this line, the norm, people start questioning you. So of course it happens to me, it happens to everybody here who steps out. And I've been growing up in a society which is very small, in a small city, where you do certain things in a certain way. And then I just came out there and took a completely different direction. And of course, it's been a hard transition to really grow into the person that I am, and not what everybody else think I am. In Sweden, I mean, we have it so good. In Denmark as well, we have a great like the ground that we have, that's amazing. Most people don't have that. So instead of just picking on each other, I start going out there and, you know, just do whatever you can and do whatever you want. And but it's not always easy, but you grow, and then you go to these kind of networking events and you meet similar people and you can support each other, which is amazing.
Yes, definitely. Actually, I wanted to ask you something. I had a question that I had planned later, but I ask that now to do with what you just mentioned, jantelagen, because I know that some people might even be afraid of success. They might even think that if I go ahead and I really succeed, people are going to be jealous or hate me, or I'm going to lose friends. And what would you say to these people that actually that are afraid of success and that might hold them back?
You're not alone. It's very common. We talk a lot about that we're afraid of failure, I'm afraid of doing mistakes, but a lot of people are actually afraid of the success as well, which was one of my fears. I was afraid that everything was going to go so fast, that I was going to lose everybody, and maybe I didn't know how to handle everything, and what would the media say, what would the neighbors where I grew up say, all of these things. And instead, my message to these people who feel this, with what I did as well, was to just, you know what is it worth in the long run? Do you have a passion for something? Do you have a mission? Do you have a product or service that other people actually need because you can help them? Then, you know, believe that that's your path and that's your future. And what everybody else says, it's not that important, because everybody have a big... We all spend so much time focusing what everybody, or thinking about what everybody else is going to say. And those people who instead just focus on my mission, this is the way forward, they are the people who are going to take the advantage in this world. And to answer your questions about if you get all this success and if you're afraid about it, or afraid to it, what you need to do is just say, you know what, when you get there, I mean, you've accomplished something, and I always have this, like, what you do, if you can help other people, you can never feel bad about it. Exactly. No matter what other people say. As long as you're doing something that helping society and other people, or communities, the world, you should never be ashamed of it, and you deserve all the success that you get. Fantastic.
That's such good advice. Another question I had is, like, blind spots. Sometimes we might have blind spots as entrepreneurs, and we might actually not know what we don't know. And how do you come to terms with that? And how do you sort of figure that out? What would be your advice to people?
What I started working on a couple of years ago was that, you know what, I don't know what I don't know. So why spend time focusing on that? If it happens and it goes wrong, then I will learn something. And the more I can educate myself on things that other entrepreneurs have done, or how they built their businesses, what mistakes they've done, the more I limit the risk of doing it myself. But then, of course, you never know.
No.
And in the society that we have today, where everything is changing so fast, the things that worked 2 or 3 years ago might not even work today.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things that we don't know, and we just have to kind of love that feeling that, you know what, everything can happen. I can have a very fast journey, a big success, or maybe don't. You never know. So this, like, not focusing on that, focusing on where am I going, what's my mission, the path. I always say this too. We say it in our leading group and to our team, that, you know what, focus on success. Everything else kind of is always going to come back to you, and you don't know what you don't know. So focus on what you want to create, and the rest you will solve on the way, and you will learn from a mistake. All make mistakes.
Excellent. And because that's so important, isn't it, that we dare to just try, like you say, it, and not let that hold you back. And if you would define, I mean, what is failure to you? Like, if you look at failure, because people might be afraid, like you said, to fail, but how do you look at failure?
I don't see the word failure. I refuse to see the word failure.
Okay, good.
I changed that word to a learning, something that you can learn. And because the thing is, the more action we take, the more we do, you will not get everything perfect, because there's no definition of perfect. You can never do perfect. And that's why you have to start getting your mind out of that you know what, it's never going to be perfect anyway. If it feels okay, just do it. And then if you see it as a failure, don't see it as, you know what, I can learn something from this, and then go out and do it again, and hopefully you do something different, and then you will succeed. Otherwise you will be like Albert Einstein said, that if you repeat a mistake over and over again, that's stupid. But if you do something once or twice, nobody gonna notice. If you actually change it, get aware of what was it that happened here that's not working, and then try to see, okay, what can I do instead? That's what we say in coaching all the time. You're doing something here, it's not working. Okay, so what can you do instead? Start looking at that direction right away, and you will move forward, and you will finally succeed. That's how the law works, the science behind success.
Yes, perfect. Could you give us 1 or 2 examples from your own world, so your own experience, when you've had, like you said, a challenge, and how you turn that around to actually be something positive?
Well, I can, just to be on the same subject as I was before, being young, for example. It's something that, you know, I stepped out there. I'm a CEO of a global investment company. As a woman under 30, it's not many people who are. And I get questioned a lot, you know, because they don't know what kind of experience I have, or what I've done before, or all of this. And that's just what I have to be aware of, that, you know, what's going on. And instead of taking that as something that I could give up on, you know, what, that people are questioning, is she really experienced enough? Is she really that smart? Has she actually done all of those things that she says that she's done? And use that, you know what, everybody sees this, she's young, she's a woman, as something negative, and I try to turn it as something that I can see as my advantage. You know, I have something here, something unique that nobody else has. I am young, I am a woman, I am running a global investment company. Not many people are doing that, but you know what, we know where we're going. You either get curious and want to follow us or learn from us, or you don't. So that's something that I learned from taking stuff that might look bad, and then just turn them around, and maybe how can I do that weakness to my strength? And now instead I have something that big businessmen are getting curious about, like, how can she attract those people? How can she be where she is? And that, again, with the positioning, is something that I was talking about.
Very good. As an entrepreneur and as a leader, and it's very important that people learn to negotiate and develop these skills. And it's been done a lot of research, and it's been found that both assertiveness and empathy is very important to be a good negotiator. And I just wanted to ask you, how do you find your way through navigating to, because I mean, obviously you are a good negotiator. Otherwise it would be hard to make all these deals that you keep making. So how do you look at that, and how do you find your way to negotiate so well?
I decided a couple of years ago that I'm going to be so brilliant on reading people, understanding what is this person actually missing. Because if they agree to a meeting with me, they have something that they're missing that I might solve, that I might be able to give them. And the more I know about them, the easier it is for me to just kind of just go around and give it to them and make it a win-win. So listening is the strongest tool. I've been doing that for so many years, and that's what's still working so much. Asking those right questions so that you have the other person start talking, because then you will start finding your way and see, okay, here is what he or she is missing, and then I can just fill in, and I can make sure. Because if you have this understanding that if you can close a deal that feels good for the other person and yourself, it's a win-win. But most people are afraid of asking for the sale and actually negotiate. But if you negotiate in the right way, you're actually helping. So it's a mindset thing. So I've always seen it as something good. As, you know what, they set a price or whatever it is. But if if they can't really argue for or have the right arguments for that price, it doesn't gonna make sense. But if we can come to this balance, and then of course the more empathy, the more you feel with the other person. I'm with you, I completely understand what you're thinking. This might be hard for you to sell or whatever it is. The easier it is to start building that bond with the other person. And sometimes that might take a year. Sometimes it takes 1 hour. So it depends on the deal, how to do it. Some people are too fast. They want to close everything right away and there's no connection. It's very important that there's a connection. Energies. And then the sale will go pretty easy.
Perfect. And how important as an entrepreneur would you say it is to be, on one hand, maybe systematic and have the plans and everything, and on one hand listen to your instincts and your intuition, your guts? Like how do you find your balance there? Like what do you think are both as important? Or if you talk a little bit about that.
I would say they are. I have another big mentor that told me that, you know what, you need to be a little bit skeptical first, because that's good, because that makes sure that you actually kind of do the analysis and you see if the math, actually the numbers are right, that you can put it in a system, that you can, all this you said, like the planning and stuff like that. But then in the end, it's all going to come down to how do you feel about it? Because if the math is right and the analytical and stuff, then fast as you can go into that other part, actually listen to your gut feeling. Okay, this is right now, and don't let my brain take over too much of the numbers and stuff. If you're still on the green line, or if you feel that, you know what, I can see that this is something that's going to go well, and you can feel that it's going to go well, that's also a win-win.
Perfect.
So it's all about the IQ, EQ, and the SQ, and combine those three, and you will know that you're on the right way.
That's wonderful. What would you say is your big why? What is it? I mean, you take so much action in everything you do, massive action. What is it that drives you? What is your big why?
You know, I have this, I grew up in a very small city. I had everything compared to a lot of other entrepreneurs who you hear a lot about. They had a sad story, come from a tough background. And I didn't really. I had a good background. I was not growing up in a rich family. I was in a very original family.
Mm-hmm.
But I started realizing when I started traveling after high school
Yeah.
all over the world that, you know what we have in Sweden, what we have in Scandinavia, Europe, all these developed countries
Yeah.
is much more than people. There are still
Yes.
4 billion people that don't have
Yeah.
food on the table. That's
Yeah.
almost half of the society.
Yes.
And then when I started realizing that the more power you have in this world, the more money you have in this world, the more you can actually do
Yeah.
with the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to be one of many people, which is great they're doing it right now, but one of many people who can just kind of balance those unfair life situations that we have. So we have as a goal in our investment company that we stand for global wealth, and wealth meaning that you feel good inside, you have the things that you need in this society, because we have, which is very important to understand, we have a society today that is built on money. It's
Yeah.
built on a sort of system
Yeah.
which we can't really deny. It's there.
Mm.
And I just have this mission that, you know what, I've come this far already, if I'm this aware
Yeah.
that I am already, and I have my whole future in front of me, and together with the team, I want to go to the top and make as huge impact as I can
Yes.
for people,
Mm.
humanity,
Yeah.
for world peace. That's something that how can we do that? By helping people in their lives every day. Some
Yeah.
people need money, some people need food, some people need just a mission in life, and wake up and
Yes.
have something to live for.
Yes.
That is my mission. There are many things, but in overall, I just want to, I've set, I can share with you, it's a very high goal, but I want to inspire, meaning that I've touched their lives, they've heard me, they've seen me in some way.
Mm.
1 billion people
Wow.
over my
That's fantastic.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
I
That's
just have to
fantastic.
use
Yeah.
the digital technology, which is amazing, because today everybody is online.
Yes.
You can reach out to so many more people.
Yeah.
So that's our next step, to really use that technology even more than we've done so far.
That's perfect. That's wonderful to hear. Also, I mean, you have traveled so much. I mean, you have been across the world and met so many different people, different cultures. How do you approach those moments? I mean, now you're very experienced doing so, but in the beginning, I mean, if you would advise a new entrepreneur, a new person that might not have traveled so much, what would you say to them? I mean, how do you approach moments when you feel unfamiliar surroundings altogether?
You know, when I started, I was a backpacker for many years. And what's very important, which is something that I can recommend people, because it helped me in business and entrepreneurial life, to really get that understanding of how the world really looks, how it really is.
Yeah.
So when you travel to places, go in there with a just clear mind. And no judgment, like, why are they doing so? Why are they thinking like that? Because we have different cultures, we have different mindsets, but in the end, we're all the same in one way or another. But just going to new places with no judgment, no assumptions that we think stuff about other people or places because we never know.
Exactly.
We never know what the intent of other people are, like why they're really doing what they're doing. So if the clearer your mind is when you go to a new place, the more you can actually take in, and the easier you get connected to the people there. And when you get connected to the people, they might open up their networks. The same in business. Don't go in and just like, this is the only way it is. This is how it should be all over the world, because it's not going to work. You have to adapt it through different, and it's the same in meeting. When you're one-on-one in meeting, you have to adapt to negotiation to the other person. So when you're traveling, just have an open mind and just see, and how how do they run a business in South Africa? How do they run business in America,
Yeah.
in Denmark, in Europe? It's very different. And what can we learn from all those different things and put together to reach out to as many people as possible?
Yes. No, that's
open mind would something I would say is the big thing.
That's great to hear. Backpacking, yes, traveling a lot before you start working. Excellent.
And I know it's not that easy for everybody today. If you have a family or you have your business that is already running, but sometimes, just 3 days somewhere or a weekend is very, very, I still do it. I still go places myself. You can make that happen if you really have your mind to it. Sometime just to get away, get another perspective of things. Because that's why most people in business also get stuck, because we kind of end up in our own little bubble, and then we forget about how the world really lives and what we can do different to actually grow our business and helping more people. So taking those moments just by yourself and travel to a completely new place, and don't have the intention to always do business. What can you see in people? Because if you understand people, you will understand business.
Exactly.
Much easier.
And this actually leads in a little bit to what I was planning to ask you next. Like, how do you, because I think you kind of answered it already. I mean, how do you connect with your audience so well? But I guess it is because you have this ability to connect with people on one-on-one. And but I would like to hear from you, if you could, if it's new aspiring speakers that would like this advice, how to connect with an audience, what would you say to them?
Energy is something that I work a lot with. I try to feel the energy in the room. It's very different to speak to a crowd that's 10 people up or to 2,000. It's very different.
Of course.
It's much easier to feel that energy and connection with a smaller group. But you can have it in another way on the bigger stage. But always use those energies is something that, I mean, those hooks all the time in your voice, how you stand, how you position yourself, and how to put your presentation in what order. There are different things, but if there's just one thing to say right now, I would say come in on the stage just like an artist. If they're singing, they own the stage. This is my stage. I have a message. But then at the same time kind of thinking that it's not me against them, it's us. So always open up. It's us here. I'm saying something, but it is for you guys. It's always for you guys. So the more you can show that to the audience, that you know what, I've done this, but you can do it too. It's all about like us here. People will feel that energy. And just let your ego go. It's not about you. You already made it up on stage. Everybody else is sitting. So then let go of the ego and just share, give. The more you give, the more you will get. If you only talk about yourself and your experience and how you feel, nobody will feel the connection.
No.
But if you share your experiences in a storytelling way that other people will feel, that's what I've experienced too, you will have a connection. And you can do it with energy, like being there so that they can feel it in the room. I can share with you, there was one man who told me a couple of years ago that if you become this person that when you step into a room and people can just feel that someone is here, I don't know, it doesn't have to be with your looks. They can just feel it by the way you walk, the way you stand and talk. You have come a very long way. And that's the same stage. And it's a practice. I'm still not at the top with the top leaders in the world, but I'm working on it. And I know that I will not give up until I'm there completely. Fantastic. And that's what people should do as well. Just practice, repetition about knowing who you are, what your message is, and how you can really connect.
This is brilliant. Great advice. Thank you. Okay, so when just to give an example, what in your career so far have, if you can pick one or two things, required the most courage from you?
That would be it still is when I really need to take those. For me, it is to take those, if I'm going to speak to a billionaire, or if I'm going to speak to someone that I might start like thinking, can I really reach out to him? But that's just in my head, something we all need to work on all the time.
Yes.
But it can still be it could still be something that I need to you get a little bit nervous, and you're stepping in. Every time I'm stepping into a new kind of world, a new area in business, or something that I haven't done before, it's always scary. But then you have to have this mindset that, you know what, if I fail, so what? I will learn, and there will be 1,000 new opportunities out there if I still go out there. But that could always still be a little bit, you can get a little bit nervous, and it might be scary sometimes to know this little voice that you might have. We all have it, that are saying that, are we really ready for this? Is this the right way? Can I really do this? And then my strength's been that even if this voice still coming up all the time, I do it anyway. So action beats everything. Even if it's scary, I still get scared sometimes, or many times, by the things that I'm doing. But you know what? I will not grow if I don't do it. So do it anyway.
Oh, great. I think a lot of us feel like that, but it's like you say, we have to just power through it and take that action. But another question I have is, you do so many things. You are a serial entrepreneur, you're a certified coach, and you have so many things going on. But when you decide that you're going to do something, how do you know what your next right move is? Like, how do you come to decide?
I always have this kind of bigger vision first. I always think, like, in the long run, where do I really want to do before I start taking action? And the more I can see myself, the visualization about I'm already there, I've already accomplished a big goal, it's much easier to kind of stand here already as a winner and look back and see, what did I do here and where did I start? Because then I know that if I do this first step, I already know that, you know what, then I probably have to do this and this and this. And the better you get at kind of seeing it as, some people see it as a line, or you can use your imagination. It's much easier to know that, okay, if I do this, hopefully I will do this afterwards and this. And then have some backup plans as well. If this it doesn't happen exactly the way I thought, maybe I can just steer a little bit to the right or left. But it's much easier to take an action right now if you know what the second, third, or fourth step already is. Even if you don't know, make it up in your mind, like, this will happen. It already happened. I'm already here. I'm already a winner. Then it's so much easier to do those first steps. And then you'll see, and you have to see, did it go the way I thought it would go or not? If not, then how can I do it better next time? What other way can I take? And then just make it fun. Kind of like it's a game. Business is a game. Life is a game. Play it the way you want it.
Oh, perfect. That's really good. I wanted to ask you about your company. As I said, you do so many things. A global wealth investment group in Sweden. Tell us a little bit about that, and how you decided to do this as well, sort of thing, like wealth investment.
The real decision came about a year ago, when I had started to come out on the bigger stages, speaking, and smaller stages too, but I started traveling a lot to speak and meet people, and I got all these requests, business requests, investment requests, all these opportunities, and I didn't have a system for it. I didn't really know, because I had another business back then, which was something completely different because I was in another position 2 years ago. So I took a decision, you know what, I need to put myself on another level and then build businesses that have the systems so that not everything is just on me. So I found the right partners, and we're building the team, and we're having different kind of labels in our investment company, which is an education, a publishing company, real estate, and then we're doing some other investment deals where we connect people. But the main focus right now is that we're all very operative in our education business, next generation business, which is something that I will spend my most time on this year and hopefully a couple of years. I will still run the company, but this is one of our businesses. And just going out on tour, we're going to have a tour in Sweden now, talking about next generation business. We have a web course, an online course. We're going to have workshops. We have one in February, and it's coming more. We're doing trips to different places in Cyprus, for example, where we're going to have some more intimate classes, and just to educate people to grow and live their life, and just if it's business you're interested in, how can you make that grow, and what's your purpose, and just having that understanding as well about everything that is changing right now. How can you build a sustainable on the market that we have today, because it's not like it was 2 years ago. Everything is changing. So that's what I'm going to put my main focus on, building up to this brand, next generation business. So it's so excited.
It's very exciting to hear, but great. And when you in the future, when you have, this is just something I'm curious to hear, if you have children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, if you could pass on one or two of your gifts or your personal leadership skills, I don't know, competencies, traits, and I'm sure that is something that you also want to train all your coaching clients with as well. What would that one or two things be that you're especially, I don't know, that you would like to pass on?
Not complicate things, not thinking too much. I've done that. I still do. I work on it all the time. You overanalyze things, so you actually forget to live, because you spend all this time on things that doesn't really matter in the long run. And then I met so many old people that have, when they are there on their deathbed and just looking back, and they see how much time they spent on stuff that didn't really matter. Nobody cared but myself, and it took all of my energy, and it took all my energy from me and my family and everybody around. So instead, just have fun. Something that I had trouble having, because I was so into, I'm just gonna do this, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna fight hard. It's all these just being perfect, not actually enjoying the moment. But when I started doing that, everything changed, and everything started to appear in your life. The joy is so important. It's much more important that you do what you love than having billions of dollars. Even if I haven't had it, but I've met people who have, and they still say that joy and love and everything that you can have. And if you actually can create a business that you have joy in, and you can give to other people, you will win big times. But most people do stuff that they think they have to do because it's the way it should be. That's so wrong. I've done that mistakes, and I'm not going to go back, because the more you do what you actually feel inside, and the more it's in both ways, with what you do and who you are. It's all from inside. And that is also your power. How I can meet other like big investors and big speakers, celebrities, business owners, is because I know that my power is in here. If they don't want to listen to me, I'm not going to, this is not a perfect match. I'm going to move on. And suddenly I meet someone who sees that, and we can find a deal. Because if you know where you're going and what you want, that's it's your life. So that is what I want to pass on. Just have joy. Don't listen to the society. It will take a lot of practice and repetition to get out of your own head.
Of course.
Because we've been taught to do several things, and this is how it's done here. Says who? If somebody came up with this, imagine that you could do whatever you want. What would you do then?
Exactly.
Why not do it? Why not try? What's the worst thing that can happen?
That's so powerful. Yeah, that's great. So, what can we expect to hear when you come to visit us in IMN Intelligent Millionaires Network here on February 1? What can we learn? What can we, just a little teaser for all the members that are coming, what can we expect to hear when you visit us?
Well, as you've heard now, I talk a lot about mindset, because that's the thing. You know, if we don't have it up here, it's not going to work. But then also I will share some very interesting strategies within marketing, sales that are working today. What we see today as next generation business. How is the market changing? I will talk a little bit about how the world economy is changing, how values are changing, how doing business, how scaling is changing, how we trust each other, how trust is working today. It's completely different today than it was just a couple of years ago because of the digital age. So how do we actually build a sustainable company in the market that we have today, and what do I have to do to always make sure that I don't lose up with the speed of the changes that are going on in the world. So everything from business strategies to how it's working today, how you can build a business that might work on the market, to the mindset thing, that what you actually have to think up here to be able to get the results that you really deserve. And then just sharing my thought as a game changer on the market today about what did I do and how can you do something similar, or what can you do to really be a game changer too, because you will not be able to be a leader or a big business if you don't do something different to what it is today, because then you will be like everybody else and you will not stand out. And why good to stand out? Why is it good to take place and position yourself?
Fantastic.
Just use that as your advantage. So that's what I will share with all of your members, and I'm so excited to come to you guys.
Wonderful.
I've never been I haven't been speaking in Denmark, so even if it's so close, so I really look forward to it.
We're very excited, and I just want to say as well, if people want to connect with you, if they want to reach you, what is the best way for them where can they find you?
I'm on social media, so if they want to follow me and see inspiration, it's always Linnéa Kempe, my name. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. If they want to have something business-wise, if they're looking for investments or want to have some other question, looking for something that I might help, you can send an email to contact@linneakempe.com. And I will get those emails as well.
Thank you.
And then you can just write in the subline that you are from the IMN Copenhagen. And it will be much easier for me to find those emails.
Thank you so much, Linnéa. This has been a gift, and I want to thank you for your thoughts, your insight, and also your commitment to everything that you do, because I know that you make a difference in so many people's lives, and that is inspirational. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yes, we look forward so much, and take care, and we'll see you February 1st in Copenhagen. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.